Right, of course, because I should know who that is.
I don't care what you think.
I'll tell you something that rubbed me right.
Felger and Mazz on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
As soon as it is to be asking this, what will you remember most fondly about this group and the season that they had?
I think just who they are as competitors. I think that's it. And again, listen, this isn't, when you don't win a championship for the Celtics, there's always going to be, a level of we have to do better. But at the same time, regardless of what was going on, we came in with that type of mentality. I thought we came in with the championship mentality from the beginning of the year. And I thought the guys just put their head down and went to work. And, I'm grateful that I got to coach them. A lot of times in the world today, it's an either-or society, but there's a duality to everything. And, the year we won, I felt just as empty as we did when we lost. And the duality of going after something bigger than yourself with a group of people is you're always going to have, there's two sides to every coin, and you have to, when you go after greatness, you have to accept the other side of that. And too many times, it's all about winning, but you have to surrender to the idea of when you're going after that, you're going to fail. And, we've failed by not winning, but we stick to the process of being able to do that. But I think that's just kind of the duality of how things work. It's not an either-or thing. It's both and you feel both of those things,
That was Joe Mazzulla post-game with just a ridiculous comment from kind of a ridiculous basketball coach, if I may say so. I come to you from the remote A-hole chair location at Mazz and Murray, back from our Town Fair Tire Studios in Waltham. How you guys doing?
Hello,
Good,
Michael.
hi.
What's your initial reaction, fellas, on this Reentry Monday?
Murray, go.
No,
all
goodness.
right, I'll
You
go.
haven't been here in a week.
Look, to me, one of the great all-time collapses in Boston sports history on the part of the Celtics, if you ask me. And when I say collapses, I'm talking about as much about how they looked as what the actual math was of blowing a 3-1 lead. They completely fell apart. It's like they forgot how to play the game. And I think there was blame to go around for everybody on the list, including Brad Stevens. It's all in play as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not telling you I expect any of these things to happen. But if you said to me, would I consider trading one of Tatum and Brown? Yes, absolutely. Tell me which one, and I'll still tell you yes. Because either one, you tell me there's a good deal to be made, I would consider it.
Why do you start there, Mazz?
I'm just telling you it's one of the many on the list. I'd consider firing the coach. Stevens, to me, is an issue, too, for how he clearly buys into this in some capacity in terms of the stubbornness with the three-pointer. Like, all I'm saying in a grand, in a sort of umbrella comment, in my mind, it's all in play. It's all in play. Anything you want to bring up as fixing the team, I'm all ears.
Well, so wait, you don't get the duality of what happened over the weekend?
It's a very big word for Joe Mazzulla. Yeah, very big word. Again, he used it over and over and over again. We all know that everything comes in a package. Yes, when you go for a win, there is the chance that you will suffer by losing. Of course, that's the way the world works. And to say that you have the same emptiness as you won a championship is asinine. That is utterly, completely, totally, 100% asinine. It was an empty feeling when you won the world championship. Is that what he told the guy from the Wall Street Journal when they were yanking each other for the math and the winning with the math? Remember that story? Oh, God, please spare me the bull crap.
It was him and Zarens talking to each other coming off the floor.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, about how math works.
But it was in the Wall Street Journal, yeah. In the Wall Street Journal.
That commentary by Joe Mazzulla, the whole duality thing, that is I'll say thanks, because that's the most insightful and philosophical way of ever looking at being a complete and utter loser. Maybe I'll start using that when things don't go my way. Enough with this guy. Enough with Jaylen Brown. We'll get to him and his stream he did last night. Good look there. But my number one takeaway is that this Celtics core, this team, they're a championship team that's not a championship team. They have failed DNA. It's a regular season gimmick team. That's all they are. And that year that they won the championship 2 years ago, they had maybe the easiest road ever, and their three-point shots dropped. That's it. They're designed to win in the regular season. They provide an illusion of something that's not there. It's style of play. It's a regular season gimmick. They shoot a million threes. They drop in the regular season. But then the same thing happens in the playoffs every year. They get out-toughed, and all of a sudden the threes aren't as easy, and the opponent tries a little bit more, and they get punched in the face, and they lose. and we're sitting here again saying, how did they lose to fill in the blank?
See, Mazz, I don't start with the players. I mean, if we're talking about now what has to happen, I don't start with Brown and Tatum.
But I didn't start with the players either. I'm telling you, it's all on the table, is all I'm saying.
I gotcha. I would not move on from Brown and Tatum at all. They play the wrong way. And how many years have we been saying it? And what the experience for me is just, it's mind-blowing because I feel like so much of the Celtics world is in denial. And maybe the weekend was like a final wake-up call, was maybe a rock-bottom moment for Celtics fans who are hanging on. They play the wrong way. It's not personnel. It hasn't been personnel for about 4 or 5 years. Brown and Tatum have come of age, and they've had a championship-caliber roster going back to the year they lost to the Warriors in the finals. So is that 4 years ago? 5 years ago? But since that point, they've had the talent to win championships. Talent is not the issue. It has not been the issue since that point, since that series which they should have lost. They play the wrong way. And Celtics fans, too many of them are in denial of it. Too much of the media won't cover it. It is obvious that it is a play style thing. And, of course, that relates to coaching, but it probably does go deeper, Mazz. Don't you think that on some level the whole organization has signed off on the math, as Murray points out right there? It's an organizational problem that the coach is a big part of because he's overmatched, folks. He is overmatched. It comes out in the postseason. It's something you could have taken a harder look at going into the postseason. It's a whole different ballgame, coaching in the regular season in the NBA and the playoffs. It's a totally different deal. And he's overmatched. So the coach is obviously part of it. But if they're going to turn over the basketball department to the analysts who still believe in that cockamamie philosophy, it doesn't matter who the coach is. So to me, that's the issue. It's how they play. And unless that changes, this isn't going to change.
Well, and this is why I say let's not leave Brad Stevens out of this, because he's the ultimate golden boy, and he always skates. Okay, Stevens always skates. He's an exceptional team builder. Excellent. I'll take him, in terms of team building, any day of the week. He knows, and I've said this a million times, I regard him as being better at understanding how the pieces fit than Danny Ainge was. So, and he's tremendous. He can identify a guy like Shireman. Shireman's a good story. Look what they got out of that guy. Pretty good. He's got a place in the regular season in the NBA and maybe even in the postseason as he gets further into his career. I have no idea. Let's see. But he is endorsing this style of play one way or another. He's either endorsing it or doing nothing to change it. So to me, don't leave Stevens off the list. He needs to answer questions about this too.
Well, he's responsible for Mazzulla. For Mazzulla, we give him all this credit for building the team, and I do too, Mazz. I think he's been a terrific personnel guy. I don't think there's any question about it. But part of that personnel work is hiring the head coach. The coach doesn't get it, folks. Like, I don't know how much more you need to see. I mean, it happened last year, and Celtics fans sort of wrote it off. You saw it again. They lost in just about the exact same fashion. Losing home games, losing focus with a big lead against an inferior opponent. And I haven't mentioned the three-point philosophy yet, but you know that's at the core of it. So how do you lose the exact same way? How do you suffer a loss like that last year to a team like that in that fashion and then come back and do it again? How do you do that, Murray?
Well, because I think you're hitting on it, too. So Brad Stevens is skating. I think Mazzulla's doing exactly what Stevens wants him to do, which is why they seemingly love him. And they're like-minded, Brad and Joe. And I like Brad Stevens' personnel moves for all his genius talk, and the moves of building the team. This is exactly what he builds it to be, and they play exactly how he wants them to play. Again, regular season gimmick. It's the same thing over and over again. And this is a team that even before Joe Mazzulla and all of this, they don't know how to deal with adversity. If it's easy, then they know how to win in the postseason like they did 2 years ago. But if they have to deal with any kind of adversity, they get tight, they wilt, they fail.
So, Mike, this is why I don't leave the players out of it. Okay? So, and I'm not telling you again, you can tell me you're coming at it from any one of a million angles. I'm just telling you it's all on the table for me. They're soft. If it's not easy, they won't fight for it. It has to be easy for them to win it. Otherwise, they're not going to fight. Now, Brown fights. Okay, so he's got that. He also had more turnovers and assists in this series.
He gagged.
So this is again is why I've said to you in the past, like part of me reserves judgment on Jaylen Brown being a number one, because when he gets into these moments and the defensive pressure, not the championship pressure, the defensive pressure in the game intensifies, he's not as good. He's a slower decision maker and he turns it over. And he doesn't find open guys as well. It's exactly what happened in this series. And so, again, you tell me how you want to fix it. I'll listen. You want to get rid of the coach? By all means. See you later. Adios.
He tightens up. He was getting defended. He didn't know what to do because of the way Paul George at 35. I'll round off. Basically 40 years old for the way he was defending him. And Jaylen Brown was just a turnover machine because of Paul George.
So the players gagged on top of it.
Definitely.
I mean, it is a players' league. You can have a bad head coach and win on talent, which is what they should be doing. And even after all that nonsense, after that preposterous starting lineup, that ridiculous group, okay, they clawed the way back a couple different times. But the one that mattered was 3:30 left. They got to within a point. Tatum made 2 free throws, 99-98 with just over 3:30 left. And the Sixers came down the floor and missed 3 straight possessions. Embiid missed down low on a little hook shot. Embiid missed a corner 3. And then Brown blocked Paul George at the rim on 3 successive possessions. And the Celtics go down. They did a high pick and roll for Brown. Open 3, miss. Next time down, Brown, a good look from the free throw line. Pull-up jumper, miss. Next time down, kick out 3. Stop me if you've heard that before. Peyton Pritchard, who makes shots at the buzzer all the time, unless it's the real buzzer. It's so cute seeing the guy beat the first quarter buzzer or the 24-second shot clock buzzer or the halftime buzzer. He's great there. When it's the real buzzer, forget about it. Forget about it. And so they gagged, but two out of the 3 shots were three-pointers. They were all jump shots. They're a jump shooting team. Jump shooting teams don't win. You know they don't win. You know it. So why did you? Why? I still feel, Mazz, like not everyone totally gets it. Because I hear this all the time. That I'm hearing it from less quarters, but I still hear it. That the 3-point shot's a simplistic way to look at it, and you don't really understand. Or, everyone shoots threes in the league. I don't think people get how many threes the Celtics are shooting. They're shooting more than other teams by a wide margin. We're just in the second round here in the NBA, okay? 3-point attempts per game across the league. The top 5, descending from 5 to number 1. Phoenix, 37.5 a game. Portland, 38.4 per game. Cleveland, 39 per game. OKC, 39.3 per game. So OKC has shot the second most 3-pointers per game in the NBA playoffs, 39.3. You know what the Celtics averaged in this series? 46.1. Okay, so they're shooting 7 more per game than the next highest team. Not an average team, the next highest team. 7 more per game in this postseason. And so I started to look, Mazz. When's the last time a team averaged over 46 3-point attempts per game in the playoffs? And I went backwards. It didn't happen last year. It didn't happen the year before. The Celtics, when they won the title in 24, shot 43 pointers per game. Not 46, 40. Not for Golden State. And Golden State has won 4 championships. They never shot more than 42 3-pointers a game. Mm-hmm. You have to go all the way back to, isn't this apt? The 2020 Houston Rockets.
Yep.
So this is, you all hate the Houston Rockets and the way they play. You mock them. Rightly so. Now your Celtics team is playing the same way. And the fact that it's not 100% agreement that it's the wrong way to play. It's losing, but you're not going to win championships shooting more 3s and 2s. The Celtics shot more 3s and 2 this postseason by a wide margin. The Celtics averaged 46.1 3-point shots per game. They averaged under 42 2-point shots a game. No one has ever won a championship doing that, and I don't think anyone ever will. Golden State never shot more threes and twos. It's stupid. It's dumb. And you know it's dumb. And they went out and did the exact same thing?
Yep.
It's mind-blowing, Mazz. I'll give you the final word here.
No, colossally stupid, really, again, and I'm glad you brought up that starting lineup. Because, again, I told you, as you know, I was out of the country. When I sat down and saw what the starting lineup was, I texted a buddy of mine and says, have people been talking about this? What the hell is this? What is this brainchild? Who came up with this? And how did nobody in that organization stop it? How did nobody say to Mazzulla, are you out of your freaking mind? Game 7 of the finals, and you're going to start the scrub team? The Gumby squad, as we used to call it in high school?
Oh, my God.
You're going to start that clown show to start the game, and they never really recovered from it.
So, to me, it's Mazzulla and the basketball department, because there's no way that they're just letting Mazzulla make all these calls on his own. He's just too young and inexperienced of a coach. I'm sure they have a full team of analysts, a full floor of analysts that they worked together and came up with this. So it's not just Joe, but it's the nerds. And they came up with that starting lineup. And listen, we can try and pick apart why, but it was comical. That was comical, that starting lineup. None of them scored a point, right? I have
Correct.
that right?
Yep. Yes.
Jordan Walsh, Ron Harper Jr., and was it Shireman?
Shireman.
They went combined 0 for 12 and didn't score a point.
I think Shireman played like 26 minutes, 23 minutes, something like that. 0 points.
Oh, that guy
0.0.
He was horrible this game.
This Mazzulla, guys, I'm telling you, he's in over his head. He was in over his head from the start. If you know, there's two problems. It's him and the basketball department have some really bad ideas that the organization has embraced, and not enough people have called him out on. And the players are kind of gaggers. You punch them in the mouth, and they're done. Every team in the playoffs that's punched him in the mouth since they've come of age, starting with Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green in that finals, to the Miami Heat, to the New York Knicks, and now the Philadelphia's. When Paul George is punching you in the mouth, you have major issues. Major. When Joel Embiid and Paul George are standing up to you, so that's a problem, too. There's a lot of problems. So those are our opening thoughts. I'll get right to calls right after these words.
Now, more of Felger and Mazz on the Sports Hub.
99-98. The Celtics and Sixers adding another chapter to their Game 7 rivalry. 3:29 to go. Derek White against Tyrese Maxey. Deep on the right side. Jalen sets the screen. Derek White, bounce pass. Jalen, open, three. Rims out, 2/3 of the way down. It circled the rim, and the rim spit it back out. It would have given Boston the lead. The Celtics get another chance to take the lead. 2:57, 2:56, 2:55 to go in Game 7. Derek White, left side of the floor. Bounce pass, three-point line. Jaylen Brown goes quick. Elevates, free throw line. Jumper, rims out. Rebound, Oubre saves it into the hands of Paul George. Celtics, the third chance to take the lead. Jalen switches to the left hand. Kick to the corner. Pritchard, three. No good. And the rebound, Paul George saves it from going out of bounds. How many chances will the Celtics get to take a lead they have not been able to grab? It's been on their fingertips.
Those were the three big ones. But there were more. And Philly ran into the same thing. Embiid started missing. So it went back 99-98 for 3 possessions up and down the floor, each team. And then what happened, Mazz? Who took over?
Maxey.
Maxey took over because Mazz, he went to the flippin' rim.
He did. He blew right by people and got to the rim.
And that's it.
Exactly right. I love that guy.
And you don't listen. I'm not like Philadelphia's some model franchise or some model play style.
No, the Sixers, they wanted to give it to you. And then the Celtics, with their stupid play style, said, nah, no thanks.
But, just Maxey took over by going to the flipping rim. And it's just not a priority. They want you shooting that three-pointer. They want you shooting the open three. And I hear it all the time. Well, it was a good look. It was a good look. They made that look in the regular season. Yeah, dummy. Regular season. Things are a little different. I mentioned Peyton Pritchard is great at hitting buzzer shots. First quarter buzzer shots. When it's the buzzer, you think that's the same shot? It's not the same shot. Why don't people get that? It's not the same shot. The fourth quarter buzzer is different than the first quarter buzzer. And an open corner three might be a good shot in effing November when you're down 1 point and all you need is a basket. I don't think an open corner three is the best shot. It's not. But when your coach is just lost in the numbers and is just over his head, the players just defer to it. Just defer to how they're just to their formula. And you don't need a formula right there. You need a basket. Okay. It is a Reentry Monday brought to you by Blue Bear. When it comes to plumbing, heating, and air, no one compares to Blue Bear. When you call Blue Bear, you can expect expert service from their friendly staff for all your heating and plumbing services. For more information or to book your appointment today, visit bluebearplumbing.com. To the calls. How about Frank in Waltham? Lead us off today. Frank, what do you got?
Hello. There are two people who are escaping all of our blame, and those people are Bill Chisholm and Kimberly Ford Chisholm, the cheapo new owners who halved our team and replaced them with zeros like Jordan Walsh, Ron Harper Jr., Shireman, and Luka Garza. Some of them were already on our team or our G League.
Don't leave out your starting center, who didn't play yesterday, Vucevic. I want to go back and read all the emails, Mazz, we got in that Vucevic trade when we rightly called it out as just a salary dump, trying to get under the tax. You remember how excited Celtics fans were for Vucevic?
Yeah. No, he's here for the playoffs. He's going to make them better in the postseason.
And how we just, again, rightfully looked at it and said, people, if Vucevic added payroll, would they have made it? Of course not. They were trying to get under the effing tax. Not even the apron, the tax. It's just money. So they did it to get under the tax, and you all supported it. And it was just done for money. If the money was reversed, if they were adding salary, would they have done it? And you know they wouldn't have. So, that had a just conclusion, I think. It was just done for money. And Mazz, does the caller have a point about the owners and what they did to the roster?
Sure, yes. Why not? Look, you want to own the team. This is part and parcel to what happens. You get scrutinized for every little thing, and that's not even that little. So look, now again, I do find it comical. They would add the guy at the deadline, and then in Game 7 he doesn't get off the bench. The coach wouldn't put him in. He started Luka freaking Garza. How'd you like his shot attempts on the night? Did those look close to you? The guy looked like he was throwing a shot put all night.
Luka Garza. Dan in the car, you're next.
The city deserves a head coach that's more interested in winning a championship than a poetry slam. You run a basketball team, not a Mensa club. You want duality? How about the duality of the last 2 years' playoff results when you compare it against your team's seed and expectation? And I've had enough of these green teamers with their house money and overachieved BS. On March 5th, with 76% of the schedule played, the Celtics were the 2 seed in the East, and Tatum hadn't played a minute of basketball at that point. With or without Tatum, you're a massive favorite to win an opening round against a play-in team. Give me a Bill Fitch or a Casey Jones who couldn't tell you what intentionality or duality mean, but they knew you put your best 5 players on the floor and let them cook.
Poppycock. And so on top of all of Mazzulla's, again, I think he's overmatched. I think he's just a numbers guy, which to me, by definition, makes you less of a coach or a manager or in any sport. The guys that are over-analytical are not good coaches or managers because they're just numbers guys, and that's what Mazzulla is. He's also inexperienced and overmatched. He's also stubborn. I don't think he's got the right mindset for it. I don't think he's willing to admit that, he doesn't know what he doesn't know. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And then that new age nonsensical poppycock, that dribble, the duality. What are you talking about, man? And it's just soup to nuts. He is just that guy. I mean, and I just feel justified in my doubts about him. He's just is it possible to win a championship and not prove yourself as a championship caliber coach? And the answer is yes.
Yes. Yeah.
When you never have a close series, when you never face any real resistance, when you just front run your way to a championship, you don't really know what you have. You don't. And that's what happened with that title there.
He's one of the great bum coaches to ever win a title. I would put him up there with Barry Switzer. He's one of these guys you look at like, how'd you get a title? You stink. That should be the tiers on Thursday, by the way, Mazz. If
the
I may
worst
suggest.
NBA coaches to win a champion? Yeah.
Worst coaches to win championships. Yeah.
I like that.
That is good. All sports.
Yeah, no, we'll start
John
tonight.
Farrell.
Yeah, Barry Switzer, you just said, right? There's a lot of them.
Doc Rivers.
A lot of hacks.
Complete clowns. How'd you like the challenge in the fourth quarter?
No, that was a good one, yeah.
That was good.
I wonder, did they not see him hack the guy on the bicep?
They all looked on the same page there, too.
Did they not see that? No, really, that was like as soon as you saw it, you said, what the hell were they looking at?
Oh, my God, clown show.
Nerd with the iPad saying, oh, we should challenge it. Other guy saying, like, what are you doing? Don't do this. No, it's already too late. And then apparently Mazzulla lied to and said, oh, no, I was just trying to call a timeout. Oh, you reap what you sow there. What idiots.
Jim and Marlboro. Go ahead, Jim.
Hi, guys. How you doing today?
Good. What do you got?
I'm talking to I watched almost every game. I think I missed 2. And I wasn't against the Porzingis trade because I think we needed a guy that could shoot. The center could shoot on the foul line that Keita wasn't doing, so he wasn't a threat. If you notice, Keita, no one bugged him when he was over the foul line. But my thing is, I blame Mazzulla for this. I mean, bottom line is, after 7 minutes of not scoring, hey, timeout, change the game plan a bit.
So that starting lineup produced a 9-0 deficit and a 30-15 deficit. And you clawed your way out of it, but it set you back and it set the whole tone for the ball game. If you wanted to come out, Mazz, one of their paths to victory, they're like their only path to victory, right? Isn't kind of like blowing teams out? Didn't you take that right off the board with Luka Garza and Ron Harper Jr. and Baylor Shireman in your starting lineup?
It wasn't even your backups. It was one of the great hack lineups of all time. And some of those guys don't belong in the freaking league. Porter, are you kidding me? That's it. And Garza, those freaking guys are starting in Game 7. I can't tell you how appalled I was at the beginning of that game, watching that going, how the hell did this happen? Because, again, I missed part of the series. It didn't line up right with the time zones. It was driving me crazy. So I had to read about it. And then all of a sudden I show up for Game 7 and these clowns are on the floor? What the hell was that?
You meant Harper, not Porter. But
sorry, yes.
Yeah,
Harper.
Ron Harper Jr., like, what's the difference? I don't even know what Porter you're talking about, but what does it matter?
Terry Porter Jr.
I mean, what? What was that?
Wow. Holy crap. Seriously, Hack City. Well, let me go find 5 bums playing a pickup game outside of the TD Garden and bring them in to start Game 7. That's what that was. Holy crap, was that unbelievable.
Combined
5 complete total bums. Jesus.
Safe to say that crawled up your backside, Mazz?
Oh my gosh, yes, most definitely. I was texting everybody. What the hell's this about? And a couple of people said to me, I actually don't mind it. I said, what?
I mean, so listen, you put in one of those guys. If they had started Gonzalez to get in Maxi's shorts, like, that's okay. One guy, right? You swap out Hauser for someone who can play defense and, just sort of check Maxi, who they've had a tough time checking the whole series, right?
Yeah. In terms of athleticism, good on-ball defender. If it was just Gonzalez, that would make more sense than 3 stiffs put into the starting lineup.
And it wasn't even Gonzalez. Gonzalez gave him good minutes in that game. I thought he helped bring him back into it with his hustle and his defense. So, like, one of those little guys, I say little guys, but, bit pieces, the 3 of them, holy smokes.
Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. I can't. That to me alone, starting those guys, Shireman, Garza, Harper, those 3 guys, starting those guys right there, fireable offense. Fireable offense. That was horrible.
So that is what has crawled up Mazz's backside, brought to you by North Shore Adult Diapers. In all seriousness, people shouldn't be afraid to get the help they need. And for many, store brands don't get the job done. So switch to the MVP of adult diapers, North Shore, for even the heaviest control problems like the Boston sports teams had over the weekend. Visit NorthShore.com today and focus on life, not leaks. That is what has crawled up Mazz's backside. Back to you after Murray's headlines.
Boston's best sports talk. You can count on it.
2 plus 2 is a 5.
Me sento pappacchiato perché
Felger and Mazz.
Will there be a review of how you got the style? I mean, if it's so blatant where you hit 3-pointers, you win, and you miss 3-pointers, you lose, like, can you live with that? Can you just continue to do that?
I mean, we're always going to play to the strength of what our roster is. I think is the best way to be able to do that, And again, if you take a look at the box score, they shot 39% from three. So I think going back to duality, it's always funny when, we lose games by shooting 26, but the other team shoots 39, and they're like, what are you going to do about it? It's like, well, the other team made 39. You know what I mean? So the duality of, like, you got to make them. They shot 40% from the game. We shot 26. But we're always going to play to the style of the strengths of the roster that we have and whatever that looks like. If we go out and get 5 big men that can post, we'll post it every single time. We go out and get, a bunch of guys that do whatever they do. We'll do whatever we got to do to win,
He's just a numbers guy.
He doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it, Mazz. He doesn't get it. Go ahead.
No, he doesn't get it. Again, the game becomes – this is the whole problem with the analytics thing, because you hear everybody say this when they talk about analytics. It's all based on a big sample. Okay, so you want to tell me it's more efficient to score shooting threes than twos? Fine. Yes, the math is the math. It's a more efficient way to score. What happens when you get into a playoff series and you're playing Game 7 and you're down a point, and for the first time all year, the opponent's actually playing defense and trying to take away what you want to do? Then what? Then you go to the basket. You do what Tyrese Maxey did, as you pointed out in the first segment, that Maxey won by going to the bucket. That's how he won the game. He went to the rim. He played to his strength. He went to the freaking rim. They don't get it. The rules change in the playoffs. It's different. You want to base it on the regular season when you're playing Portland and all these other suckbag teams, then have a blast. When it gets to the playoffs, you're going to get someone who puts up resistance. That's the point. Idiots.
And just the side story to me that I just can't get past, Mazz, and I know I bring it up all the time. I just have to scratch the itch. It's sort of like the Celtics almost cover it up. I mean, Mazzulla scolded the writers in the preseason. Don't ask about three-pointers, but it's not just him. The organization has browbeat most of the writers there to avoid the topic. I've read some stories where the three-point stuff wasn't even mentioned because the team doesn't want the writers focusing on it, and so a lot of them just play ball with the team. The team doesn't want Joe Mazzulla going on about it because they know he sounds like a lunatic when he does. So they don't want people asking about it. They don't want him talking about it. They've kept things off the record about this topic that should be on the record. And the media that covers the team is compliant with it, bizarrely. And Gary Washburn of the Globe is the only one that says, F it. I'm going to ask about the three-pointer. No one asks about the three-pointers. And it's mind-blowing to me. And not just that that's their philosophy, that losing philosophy that everyone knows is a loser. Everyone knows. You can't win championships playing the way the Houston Rockets played. You can't. And everyone knows it, and they're stuck on it. And instead of changing it, it's like they try and shape the questions that are asked and the things that are being said about the team. It's bizarre to me. It's insane to me. And when Joe Mazzulla says that, well, we'll play to the skill set of our team. I mean, do they have sharpshooters on this team?
No.
No, but they think that they do. And again, he talks about it as how is it a strength when you shoot 20% every game, basically in the postseason? It's delusional.
But I mean, just like that's not that Warriors team.
No, but they think that they are.
I think they encourage these guys, bigger guys. They encourage everyone to go out to the line. Everyone but Kata will go out to the line. I mean, is Jordan Walsh a three-point shooter?
No.
But he shoots them. So is that so when Joe says that, it's a lie. They take these guys, and in the rare case, like Kata, okay, lost cause, they're not going to put him out there. Rob Williams, they're not going to put out there. But name someone else who does it. They put everyone out there. Whether you're big, short, fat, skinny, whether you can shoot or not shoot, Jordan Walsh is not a shooter. But he's out there. He'll go out and shoot corner threes because they want him to, the open corner three. On paper, the most efficient shot in basketball. So Jordan Walsh, go out there and shoot them. Mazzulla. So this is a part of Mazzulla. He's not even, I mean, he's just stubborn and close-minded. So here, give me another one. How about, so someone else did, so this writer asked, he left out the three-point thing because he knows that's the third rail. The Celtics don't want the writers asking about three-pointers. And Joe yelled at him in October not to ask him about three-pointers. And they all go, okay. So the question then becomes jump shots, number 3, Jimmy.
Joe, the 4 games you lost in this series, you're below 30% from 3. Obviously, a lot of missed shots to close this game, close Game 5. Do you think you guys became too reliant on jump shots falling into this series here?
No.
And why do you feel that way?
I thought we did a great job reading the 2-on-1s, taking what the defense gave us. And in the games we lost, the other team shot over 38% from 3. And so you got to make shots. You have to be able to do that. Something we've done well, something we do well. And, we just didn't. And I thought they did a good job throughout the series, later games of making them. And so love the looks that we got, love the process that we had.
Oh, yeah.
But I hate the result.
Oh, yeah.
That one?
Great looks. No. It was supposed to work. It just didn't. What are you going to do? He should be coaching 10-year-olds, this guy. I'm so tired of him.
You know what the beginning of that sounded like? Jimmy Stu chirping from the studio.
Well, I was going to say, right, Jimmy, just give us the no.
No.
Joe, you've just shot yourself out of your second straight massive playoff choke job against an inferior opponent. Do you think you shot too many threes?
Joe, the 4 games you lost in this series, you're below 30% from 3. Obviously, a lot of missed shots to close this game, close Game 5. Do you think you guys became too reliant on jump shots falling into this series here?
No.
Tony, that's exactly like Jimmy. Did you think that was going to happen? No.
So I do want that writer did mention he did go to the third rail and mention three-pointers. So I do want to give him credit.
That's Bobby Manning at CLNS.
Okay. He said the dreaded three-point where he's going to get a slap on the wrist from the media people there. So, but it's like instead of, trying to deny that conversation or cover that up, why not? Why not get a clue? It's costing you. It's costing you champion. Joe, is your three-point philosophy costing you championships?
No.
Oh, my God. So bad. Long commercial break segment comes your way next. Don't go anywhere.
No.
I want to get to the gossip first.
Everything you said is right.
Felger and Mazz, the Sports Zone.
Final 6 seconds. Pritchard will launch a 3. It is no good. The ball appropriately enough in the hands of Maxey. And a season that began with 3 straight losses that surprised nobody ends with 3 straight losses nobody saw coming. And the simply extraordinary, feel-good 83 games that came in between for the moment become consigned to an afterthought and a feeling right now that is anything but. For the first time in franchise history, the Celtics lose a 3-1 series lead, and for the first time in their franchise history, the Sixers come from 3-1 down and in the process exercise 44 years of demons and finally eliminate the Celtics. The final score in Game 7, Philadelphia 109, Boston 100.
Back to your phones. Milton in Providence. Go ahead, Milton.
Hey, Mike, this series loss, it's really upsetting. And, obviously we don't want to split up the Jays. And, I think we like Brad Stevens. So, right, that means, maybe Mazzulla has to be out because, he totally doesn't, his decision there to go with a different lineup in Game 7 is just a different version of the same thing that they already have. So, it just tells me that, he's really just going to live or die by the 3, and they've been dying by it. So I don't appreciate that.
Well, let me just stop you. Mazz, I don't think it stops with Mazzulla, though. I mean, don't you get as good as Stevens is, I think, with the personnel work. I think he has done a really good job. Those are his, their play style is his responsibility too. I mean, he should be overseeing the basketball department and how they play. And so they need an entire fumigation there from that. So I'm just calling it the basketball department. I think it's heavily analytical. So the analysts that are in charge of that, the basketball people that are working on those decisions, that whole thing needs a complete rehaul. They need an attitude adjustment. So to me, it's not just Mazzulla. It goes above that.
Definitely. And look, Stevens has to answer for that too. Like, somebody needs to ask him point blank, how do you feel about the offense that you play? And do you ever have conversations specifically with Mazzulla about reining it in? Do you have to tell him to rein it in? And I know that these discussions have happened in softer, gentler terms, but someone needs to start asking it point blank. What goes through your mind when you see the team needing 2 points to take the lead and they keep hucking up jump shots and threes?
It's crazy.
It's insane.
Dean in Shrewsbury. Go ahead, Dean.
I hope Joe is serious about saying he'd post up players if he had the ability to, because I think we're getting Giannis this summer. But he won't even post up Jayson, and Jayson is one of the best post up players in the league. So I think we're just going to end up having Giannis sitting in the corner shooting threes. But I do think we get him.
So that's a story for another day, Giannis. So when Joe Mazzulla says, if I personally could post up, I'd post him up, he's lying.
Me too. I don't believe him.
It's not what he believes. We know what he believes. His first year, he spoke passionately about the 3-point attempt rate being the most important stat in basketball. We play it all the time. It was after they lost a big lead to the Brooklyn Nets in a regular season game, his first season. And it was good cut. It was good say. We got a full understanding of what he believes. And he said that the Nets are heavily analytical. They're smart. And the Celtics had a big lead in this game. And he said, I knew we were in trouble because we were taking too many twos. And I'm paraphrasing now.
Yeah.
But, he could tell by the volume of threes that the Nets were putting up that the game was not over because the 3-point attempt rate is the most important stat in basketball. He was eloquent, passionate. That's what he believes. And they're kind of ashamed of it because hasn't when he was asked again to start this year, he yelled at everybody about it's all about 2-on-1s. So he changed his tune because they want him to change his tune because they know that sounds nuts. But it's what he believes. That's in his core, not posting someone up. You don't believe
And I know you guys all think it's funny, but the 3-point attempt rate is the most important stat in the game of basketball.
It's on the record. That's how he feels. And he's not he's just not the kind of guy that would change his mind. Like he would never come out and say, I had that wrong. He's not that kind of guy. How about Seamus in, let's do this first. How about Sean in Worcester? We haven't gotten to this story yet. Go ahead, Sean.
I just don't understand how Jayson Tatum as a killer is going to sit here and take out a Game 7. Like, you have to play in that spot. I'm sorry. I'll let you guys talk. Thank you.
Thoughts on Tatum sitting this game out, man?
I feel similarly, again, especially when it's the other leg. Now, Washburn wrote this, and he's not the only one to suggest it, that maybe the problem in Tatum's left knee, the stiffness behind his left knee, had something to do with overcompensating on his left leg for the Achilles in his right. Fine. Maybe so. It's Game 7. You're going to sit out with tightness? Tightness. Now, if there's something more severe there going on that they're not telling us about and that he couldn't play, okay, fine. It'd be nice if they disclosed it so everyone knew what the hell was going on. But, boy, it didn't take much if that's the case, did it? Like, that's what you're going to sit out Game 7 with?
He probably should have played. It's just, I think what happened isn't what they said. What they needed to say is, we're thinking about Jayson Tatum long-term here. We want him to sit out. And he did himself no favors by saying, I could have played in the second round if we moved on. Paraphrasing, but he basically said that. He does himself no favors there because then it looks soft that he didn't play Game 7. I get what they were probably trying to do, and he probably was overcompensating because of the surgery he had last year. But they said the wrong things.
Well,
they handled it poorly.
If that's true, that he could have played in the second round, then I think he does deserve criticism. So I didn't know that he said that today?
I think it was yesterday.
Or maybe yesterday?
Yeah.
Was it off day?
Yeah.
Now I feel a little bit... originally, this isn't on my list because I sort of trust Tatum to play. He plays. He posts. Like, that's one of his greatest strengths. He doesn't miss games. And he worked hard and came back in good time from the Achilles. He didn't loaf around on that one. I mean, everything we've known from Tatum is that when he can play, he plays.
So I agree with that, Mike. Does he feel like the kind of guy to you that would pound his fist on the table and say, you're not keeping me out of this game?
No. He doesn't sound like a guy that pounds his fist on anything. Not his style, Mazz. True. So I don't know. If he said he could have played in the second round, then he should have played yesterday. If they're hiding something potentially more serious, which is what I thought, then that's a doctor's decision. It's like not even his decision. You know what I mean? I sort of give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't give him the benefit of the doubt on some things. On that, I do. He plays. He plays hurt, and he posts. He shows up. He's not a guy that sits out. So, and I think they lied about it, coming off of Game 6. He was clearly troubled by it, stretching on the sideline, and, the broadcast showed him trying to warm it up in between breaks and on the bike and everything, and so he was clearly, messing with it in Game 6. I guess I'll say this. It's sort of the basketball irony gods, the drama gods. This guy with that ridiculous docuseries, that mockery, that thing that it was a parody of itself. That ridiculous look at me fake drama docuseries that he did about his return. Isn't it ironic that he ends up Game 7 on the bench as they lose? Because he's nursing an injury?
Sure. Yeah, and I'll tell you, and I will also tell you that in some ways it's reminiscent of the series they lost to Miami when he sprained his ankle at the beginning of Game 7 a few years ago.
Didn't he keep playing, though?
No, he came out of that game.
I thought he played it.
No, because they handed it over to Brown after that, remember?
And then he had the million turnovers.
He had 8 turnovers because Tatum was on the bench.
I thought Tatum played but was sort of just on the periphery, but I thought he played. I'm going to go back and look it up, but keep going.
Okay, so no, but when I say that, I mean that, okay, so did you catch a bad break? You're not going to get pity or sympathy from me because Tatum got hurt and couldn't play Game 7. You should have won it in 5. So end the series quickly like you're supposed to, and it's a non-issue, just like it was with Miami. So again, I'll look it up. Mike, my recollection is he rolled his ankle there and he was done.
Right. I think for all intents and purposes, he was done, but he remained on the floor. I'm looking up right now, Mazz. Was that 2020 then?
So let's see. This is 2026. It might have been 2022.
2022. He played 2022. They won Game 7.
Okay.
So 2020.
23.
2023?
Yeah, it should be, yeah.
That's probably right, because I think they lost it the next year.
2023. They lost 103-84 in Game 7. He played 41 minutes, Mazz.
He played 41 minutes in that game?
But you don't remember it because he was only 5 of 13 from the floor. I'm now obviously just looking at his stat line. He was out there, but he was, he didn't do anything. That's what I remember. So I hope we have the right year.
I didn't remember him playing 41 minutes. I just remember it being run through Brown in that game, and he turned it over 8 times.
That is the right year. It's 2023.
Wow, so he played 41 minutes in that game.
Right, so like that. So but now this is what we're talking about, the injury thing. So I've known him to play through injury. I've never known him to not play if he could play.
True.
So that's why I give him the benefit of the doubt. And maybe there's something worse there, and when he says I could have played in the second round, that's a lie. Because clearly they were lying coming out of Game 6. Right? I mean, they said he was going to be available.
Yes.
So I think they might be lying about the severity of what I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to sit here and say that he could have played and he's jaking it, because that's I don't know that from Jayson Tatum. I don't. Late as usual, here's an update with Murray. 90 seconds, no commercials, and we're right back on a Reentry Monday.